Yo,
Hey guys.
good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evenings. How y'all doing? Sorry, we are a little bit tardy for the party. You know how it goes with technical difficulties, but here we are. Good night, good night, good night. Thank you for joining us for another Love Talks with the Garcons. I am the illustrious Irvin's Garcon.
And I am Ann Garcon. I don't have what is that? An adjective for my name tonight. I'm the
And
boom.com Ann
all right,
Garcon.
we'll take that. And thank you guys for coming and joining us for another episode. A fire episode, nonetheless. As you guys are coming in, we ask that you go ahead and share the live with somebody. Share with at least five
Five
people.
people.
Let's get some people in here. This is gonna be a hot topic tonight. And as you are coming in, just let us know where you are watching us from. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. What's up, Gary? Yeah, we are late. We had some technical difficulties.
Sorry, y'all.
Thank you for being here, though, bro. Share it with somebody. Let's mess with this algorithm as we are getting ready to talk about this very very hot topic that's been making the rounds lately.
Yes, yes, yes. And we want to hear your take on it because I'm sure you guys, if you haven't gotten through each part, you've gotten through some.
Well,
Because
if you don't know what we're talking about, period, where have you been living?
no, but
Because
this
this
is
thing is
like
all this is
it
right
has,
now.
yeah, but it's a commitment.
It is
It's
a
been a
commitment.
commitment
It
type
is a
of
commitment.
video
Yeah.
where you had to really
It's 7 hours long.
dedicate some time.
It's really 7 hours long. No, we are not.
Legit.
We are not IPOVs, like people who ain't got nothing better to do, where we sit there and watch it for 7 hours. We watch it like as we are driving,
Doing
and things like that.
dishes,
So
cooking.
it's a doozy, and we have our take on it that we really want to share with you guys tonight. But right
Yes.
before we even get into it, we ask that you guys make sure you are following us on all of our social media platforms. Um, Again, we are really steering away from streaming from our personal pages,
Yeah.
but that also means you have to follow us on the Love Talks with the Garcons pages, right? So what you can do, you can take a screenshot right now of this QR code that will give you access basically to all of our social media platforms, and follow us there as we stream,
Yes, yes,
as we stream.
yes.
Go ahead and start sharing this. We want this the views to be up, because we do believe this is gonna be a good one, a hot topic. Right before we get to that, as we wait for people to come
We're out
in,
here. I'm out here sharing. I'm out here sharing. So if you hear me kind of quiet or hear me kind of quiet,
yeah,
see me kind of quiet, sharing, sharing, sharing.
pretty much. So that's what we're doing. So take about 10 more seconds and share it with somebody, as we the same way we are sharing with somebody right now. All right. So sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. It doesn't cost much to share. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
Welcome. Welcome. Where are you guys watching us from? Where are you guys watching us from? Just drop in the chat where you're watching us from. Those of you guys who are here already, um, thank you. Are we coming across good? Gary, the only person talking tonight. Can you hear us pretty good? Instagram, can you hear us pretty good? Talk back to us. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know.
All right. I think we should just get started. What do you think, babe?
Um, sure,
All
sure.
right. So we are here tonight to discuss um the trending topic for the past it's been a week. It's been about a week.
now, yeah.
It's been about a week where there's this woman who got entangled, and I'll call it an entanglement, okay?
Why are you calling it that?
Because she got herself in a big old mess. I think an entanglement is a mess. Okay. When you get yourself tied up in something that you shouldn't be in, it's called an entanglement. So she got herself entangled in this. One of the
Oh, somebody did talk back to us. What's up, Florida? Jen Reg from Florida, Amityville. Okay,
hey, all
okay,
right.
okay. Instagram is talking to us. That's what's up. That's
Take
what's
that
up.
off, babe. Yes, talk back, y'all. Talk back. She got herself entangled, and I will say entangled in the biggest mess I think I've ever heard ever. The most narcissistic mess I've ever heard in my life. Like as I'm watching it, I'm like taken aback. Like, is this real? Like, did she really? Is someone that cruel to lie to that degree?
Hi, Mahalia.
Hi, Mahalia. If you're not caught up, we are talking about the ReesaTeesa drama with Legion. First of all, that name Legion.
Right.
It just reminded me of a bunch of demons. But anyway, so she got herself entangled into this relationship because of, I'm gonna say the word,
Desperation.
desperation.
Yeah.
Desperation.
But
Desperation.
even before we say it was desperation, we have to give you guys some background and some context about this situation, right? So is this woman? Her name is I don't think that's her real name, but basically,
why they gave her that name?
I think she gave herself that name.
Okay.
So yeah, Mahalia, super gullible. So she basically met this guy. She got together with this guy, but from the very beginning of this relationship, the dude has done nothing but lie to her. And we're not talking about little white lies either, y'all. We're talking about made up stories. And there's questions about whether or not he was mentally ill. Because if you really invest the time to watch the video and the thing that this woman was saying, it has to be some kind of illness for someone to just deliberately lie about their entire life. Period. Everything about him was a lie.
Yeah.
Down to, I don't know if we're going to get into it. We have some clips for you tonight. Down to his family components, people who've been dead for a very long time. He's just somebody they just passed away, and then this woman got with this dude. All the signs were there. Every single sign was there, and that's why she called. She made like a series of TikTok videos to recount this relationship.
And a lot of people are under the comments like, why are you putting your business out there? Why are you airing your business out? But honestly, I feel like she did a lot of women a great service by sharing this, because now she kind of shed light on this type of issue. Like, people are actually going through these things. If she were to keep it to herself, everything that she went through, there are certain women who would have been caught in that type of entanglement as well. But I feel like she shared a testimony. I saw it as a testimony, honestly, that she was able to share how she was able to, like, okay, she went through a whole bunch of stuff, but she was able to get out. Like, guys, it was terrible. I don't have a word worse than terrible. Is there a word worse than terrible to even describe it? She went through them. He lied about some of the most simplest to the biggest things ever. It's like this entire life was a complete lie.
And that's why I guess she titled it the right way. She called it "Who the F Did I Marry?" And that's what she called every single episode that she put up. Yo, sis is pretty good at recounting those. She did a really great job with the chronology or the chronicle of how things happened from when they first met all the way to where she is right now. And it took about 50 parts, Stephanie. Yeah, it was about 50 parts. And it was 10 minutes or so for each part from the very beginning to the very end.
But it was very interesting with how detailed she was and everything that she remembered. And we have some clips available tonight that are going to talk about different stages of her. Well, I think different stages that I really felt were worth talking about and worth dissecting, because sometimes last week we talked about don't be solo. About being solo, right? Don't be solo, SOLOW, about being solo, SOLO, right?
Yeah.
Because singlehood is not a death sentence. It's not a disease. It's not like you're cursed, right? And a lot of people, and in my opinion, Reesa, we're going to call her Reesa because that's what people are calling her, ReesaTeesa. I feel like she thought her singleness was a sentence.
Yeah, the reason I'm laughing is because as we're talking about their names, right? ReesaTeesa, she called the man Legion. That is the name she gave him. She nicknamed him Legion because she didn't want to put his real name out there. So she called him Legion, which is very apropos because that man was pretty much a demon.
Full of demons.
This is a demon. There's nothing right with this man with the amount of lies he was telling about everything. When you think about
down to where he went to school, down to where he worked, down to the type of job he had, down to how much was in his account, down to how much money he had fluidly.
Right.
He lied about to his sisters, or every single thing was a lie, which was very like.
So it's kind of interesting because even the way they met was a topic that we used. Because they met on a dating app, and a couple of lives
coming together.
A couple of lives ago, we did a live where we had
huh?
Oh wow! A couple of lives ago, I think that something happened on Instagram. Sorry guys, I think we actually ended Instagram. I don't know what happened. It's good. It's here.
No, look, it's paused.
Oh, I don't know what happened. All right, guys. The devil's a liar. It is what it is.
So Legion is a liar.
Legion is a liar. So And talk. Let me go post a message on the
Okay.
Instagram for people.
She what were you saying just
I
now?
was saying how they even met on a social
Okay,
on a
yeah.
dating
So
app.
they met on a social dating app, but now the thing is that they met on two different apps, and he had a different name on each one. There, right there. I mean, it's not that it was horrible, because let's say his name was Matthew on one. He used the word Matt. He used the name Matt on another one, right? For example. So it wasn't too far. It's not like two completely different names, but two names, two different names, nonetheless. And so they met through that app. And what got her was the first day that they met, she was on her way to meet him, and she caught a flat tire. She caught a flat
God's
tire,
trying to tell you
and
something.
right there, right? Like, okay, flat tire, why? Right? God was trying to prevent her from going, but she went anyway. But homeboy met her where she was, and he helped her change the tire. He helped her made sure that, he did it himself. Like, so she sees him in action, she sees him taking care of her, she sees him like showing up, like, oh, he's a man, like, oh, he can handle that. And so that kind of turned her on, like, oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
someone's doing, taking care of me. She was probably doing changing tires on her own, right? Doing things for herself. But to have a man on the very first date pay for the tire,
Mm-hmm.
change it,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, okay, he could be a keeper. Okay. Um,
Little did she
and
know.
that right there is what hooked her. I don't know, I guess her love language was an acts of service or something, for her to see him doing this act that really, almost like she fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Because 2 weeks later, they're moving in together for what is it, shutdown?
Yeah.
What's that COVID
COVID.
thing?
Yeah.
Is it called
COVID.
shutdown? Quarantine.
Quarantine. No, shut down. Yeah, everything was
Shutdown.
shut down.
Like, bro, you just met him and you're gonna quarantine with this man? So she was moving pretty fast. Pretty fast.
Now,
Got pregnant. Like, it just gets worse. It gets worse and worse. Okay.
now I'm gonna say something that sounds a little bit that's gonna be mean, and it's probably gonna be mad at me, right? Um,
They don't say it.
I already started. I can't go back now. Sis wasn't necessarily a looker, right? And I think there was a lot of self esteem issue going on there, from looks to, and I don't know, babe. I'm kind of like moving forward a little bit towards the last thing that she said on the video, the very last video clip. She started to talk about she felt like it was my time. That just show you someone who was solo, being solo, SO space LOW, about not having someone or not being in a relationship. She felt like it was her turn. So she was able to put up with a lot of different things that was happening.
Yeah.
Right. So from that, I could I could gather that there is a lot of self-esteem issue here, and how she sees herself to potentially settle for this particular situation.
Yeah. So let's just kind of go into the first clip that we have. It's not gonna be in order from one to, I don't have a clip from one all the way to 50. You will not be here that long, okay? But there are certain parts that I had to stop and record to make a comment on, because in the way she was speaking, you could already know that she knew what she needed to do. She knew the steps she needed to take, but she ignored it.
Yeah.
She ignored it because, unfortunately, of desperation. And if you are single and you are in a season, well, if you're feeling desperate, it's better to listen. I'm going to say that it's better to remain desperate than to get yourself entangled in something that will cause you to regret the rest of your life.
Like last week, we spoke about the different things that people can do to enjoy their singlehood. Go back and watch that video last week if you're a single person. And so if you're finding yourself with a legion like ReesaTeesa did.
ReesaTeesa.
ReesaTeesa did. All right. So we are going to play some clips for you guys in no particular order. Again, she really did a great job entitling the entitling the clips from clip zero all I mean from clip one all the way to 50. But we ain't trying to be here for 7 hours. All right. So let's just watch some of the things that come up and we'll discuss it as we go along. Here we go.
um audio diaries. I don't know why. It was something just made me just start recording my thoughts in an audio diary, and I still have them. And I would save them by the date, and I would just start talking about what's on my mind. So I was like, I knew there was something was nagging me, like, but I
Something was nagging me. Something told her to do the audio. Something. What is that something?
God.
What is that something, guys? Like, some of you may be saved, some of you may not be saved. But if you're not saved, you probably call it intuition. If you are saved, it's the Holy Spirit. I don't care what you say, and the Holy Spirit will speak.
Let me tell people we don't care what they say.
The Holy Spirit is speaking to you on a daily basis. No matter if it's about relationships, it's about work, it's about anything in life. You feel something. That's something that's telling you, and a lot of times we ignore that something. Why do we ignore that something? Because that something is telling us to do something that we really don't want to do.
That something sounds to do something.
That something is telling us to do something against what our flesh actually wants to do. The something was telling her, drop that man, leave him alone. But she said, it's my time. He's interested in me. He likes me. He sees me. He's doing things for me.
And she probably wasn't getting that before.
And she wasn't getting that before. So she ignored that something. What do y'all think? She blatantly ignored that something. Okay, all right, I'll just start recording it or whatever, and chronicling it. Thank God she was able to do that. I think listening back to was which really helped her detail the story out. But a lot of things that something was telling her on the inside, even as she speaks about it out loud after the fact, she ignored it in the moment.
Yeah, she's going viral because of that too. So she's caking. She's finding some kind of there's a bright side to it.
Kept pushing it out of my mind. I was around. We move now into June. This is now going into June. Around June 5th, I looked at the house again on Realtor.com. I don't know what made me do it, other than, and I don't mean to sound super spiritual.
You gotta go ahead and sound super spiritual.
You may or may not believe in God, but I'm telling you, I believe with all my heart. Probably the Holy Spirit was like, look at that house on Realtor.com.
So now look, he told her that he was going to buy her houses, he was going to buy her cars. They must have viewed over a dozen houses. They must have test drove over 35 cars, right? And every time he promised her something, he never delivered. How many times does someone have to promise you something and not deliver for you to be like, okay, this person is just making empty promises? How many times? And then she said that something told me to check the realtor. Listen, the something is God. God is speaking to us on a daily basis. He's trying to get us out of certain things that we're in, but many times we ignore it because we don't want the real truth. And I feel like she really didn't want the real truth in this moment. She wanted to hear what she wanted to hear. She wanted him to whisper the sweet nothings. She wanted him to continue telling the lies in hopes that one day he would actually become a truth teller. I don't know. Like, what exactly was she expecting? For him to turn it around, like, automatically? So here we have ReesaTeesa ignoring all the signs at the beginning. And this is only part 5. And this is only part 5. It gets worse. So now she gets pregnant, and I don't want to sound insensitive here, okay? But I really feel like God stepped in and allowed her to dodge that bullet when she had that miscarriage. Sometimes there are things that we go through, things that happen in our lives we don't understand. But there's a song I'm gonna say, it's a Creole song. It says "Pi devant nawe jejina gloali." How do we say that in English?
Farther along, we'll see it. We'll understand it by and by.
We'll understand it. And in like the latter parts, she can now say, "Okay, I'm so glad I didn't have that man's baby." Because imagine her having a baby with him.
They
They would
almost
have
did.
they would have been she would have been bound with him for life because of this one child, right?
Well, that's
You don't think
that
so?
in itself is another live. That's another live altogether. Do you stay in a toxic situation
Now,
because
I'm
of
not
a
saying her
child?
staying with him, but he would have been part of their lives forever unless she tried to cut all ties
I
with
mean,
him and the
there,
child.
this is impossible because you have to have visitation rights and all that good stuff. But nonetheless, she really did dodge a bullet. Um, it's a little, if you haven't watched the series yet or not familiar with it, it might be a little bit confusing to you guys. But basically, part of what's happening also is this man's own sickness. That dude was sick. The things like the whole house thing she's talking about. Oh my god. The guy is telling this woman every house that they found, we're gonna put a cash offer on it. We're gonna put this offer on
For
it.
the
We're gonna put this.
entire one, for the
And he
entire thing.
and he ain't got it. He doesn't have it. But yet he's making promises to her that is gonna happen. And the red flags start to come up after every single house, something always falls through. After there's one story. Oh my god, guys. There's one story about the Audi, babe, about the car. He supposedly got her a Audi, a car, told this woman to stay at the house
Hmm.
to wait for the car to be delivered at 3 o'clock.
She stayed and
Take a half day off and wait for the car to be delivered. She took the half day off. There's no car because he did not purchase the car. It did not happen. But yet he told her something along the line, or the car got stuck on a truck. It's some kind of city or some kind of town.
like what was she like?
And she actually believed. She
I don't
actually
think
like
she
okay.
believed it. That's the thing. I
She
don't think
just
she believed it. I feel like she just accepted it.
yeah.
There's a difference in there's a difference between believing and just accepting. Like she didn't believe anything he was saying because she just kept on getting disappointed time after time after time. She just came to a point of like accepting that okay.
Yeah.
Because she even said, I married somebody, I was ready to stay with him forever. I was ready to say, I made my bed, I'm a lie in it, right? So she was actually accepting that this was going to be her fate. Not believing that he was telling the truth.
All because she felt like it was her time.
What does this teach us? Like I hope that the women who've been watching this series, yes, although it was for entertainment purposes, that you were actually learning what not to do. Because a lot of things that we learn, we don't necessarily have to experience.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody has gone through it for you, praise God. You don't have to go down that same hole, right? But a lot of people just want experience to be their teacher. Experience is not always the best teacher. And that's why I'm so glad she was bold enough to really share out her pain, her pangs with this man, right?
Mhm.
Because so many people were able to glean from it and learn from it. I also wanted to play a clip where there was a part where she talks about how deep the lies went. It's almost like he had to create a lie to cover his lie to cover the other lie, so all the lies would match in the end.
Mm.
And it's almost like the more lies you tell, you have to keep remembering the first lie you told, because it's going to have to make sense all in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And what a master manipulator he was, all his lies, he could make up a lie at the drop of a hat. He didn't have to even think about it. He didn't have to really go deep into thinking about it, because it was just at the tip of his tongue. Oh, you didn't go to school here. Oh, yes, I did. My dad paid for me to go as a private citizen. What does that even mean? He made up lies on top of lies, down to him actually showing his account. But those were actually screenshots.
Spoiler alert.
So a lot of things that I want to be a little kind to ReesaTeesa as well. A lot of things that they went through, she was gullible, but a lot of things were it was believable on his part, because he was able to show tangible proof of certain things. So when you're entangled in something, like, I don't know how much to stress how important it is to have the Holy Spirit with you in any decision that you're making. She even says it's okay to, like, and I said this before in a previous live, you can date wrong,
Mm.
but don't you marry wrong.
For those of you guys who are on right now, have you seen? I know Stephanie mentioned that she saw some of it. Mahalia, I think, also mentioned the same thing, that she saw some of it. Are you guys familiar with the story? Have you been watching it? It's all over social media. It's pretty viral right now. So are you familiar with the story? Because right now we're doing like a pretty we're chopping up some things that came along in the video. But if you actually follow the chronicle of that's what this woman went through, like tonight is, and she keep asking, who the F did I marry? That's the title of every single one of her episodes,
Mhm.
right? But my question is, why did you marry him?
Yeah.
Like, all the signs were there, guys, and ultimately, and she said this at the end. She said this at the end, that she ultimately, and she was being honest. It was an honest self-assessment. She ultimately said, I felt like it was my time.
Mhm.
I felt like it was my turn.
She said, God, you're taking too long. It's my turn.
It's my turn.
It's my turn. To hear a comment like that,
Wow.
it shows the level of settlement. She was willing to settle for anything just to have the pleasure or of calling somebody her own.
Yeah. Well, Mahalia, actually, if you have YouTube, someone actually put everything, the whole thing together on YouTube. So you don't even have to, it's not TikTok slides anymore, or TikTok. What do you call a TikTok? I know you call a tweet, a Twitter post a tweet. Facebook is a post. What is called? What's a TikTok? A talk?
Oh.
But anyway, they put all the talks together in one continuous video. You could actually watch it that way. So you could take a look that way if you don't have TikTok.
Yeah. So now, so as we recount, we just want to hone in on certain parts that, because there's no way we're going to go through all 50 here, right? We just want to hone in on certain parts that we feel we can pull gems from, to make sure that we kind of share our hearts concerning this. Because I know a lot of single women, guys. I know a lot of single women who are really looking for companionship. Okay. And it's hard for them to find a good man. And so it's and I feel like, as Reesa, he did a good thing. Just because he does a good thing doesn't make him a good man. Like, he did a good thing. He changed her tire. He even had money. She saw the money in his account. So you know what I'm saying? Like, she felt like he could do many good things. Just because somebody can do something good doesn't make them good.
I don't know, babe. I keep going back to her. Ultimately, I keep going back to her because I think she had more than enough red flags to say, Nah.
No, she did. She did, but she didn't want to pay attention to them. And there's a lot of people that do that. You don't want to pay
People don't want
attention.
to embrace their
And there's a
singlehood.
part there where she even says, I didn't want to look stupid in front of my family. I didn't want to look stupid in front of my friends. So I had to just deal with it. In no way is that okay, because now you're isolating yourself. And there are certain things that if you allowed your, and I wouldn't say everybody in, but if you would allow some people in, they can see some things that you can't see. So she even talked about a part where her friends were like, man, I wish you would have told me. You didn't deserve to get married like that. Like, we would have loved to have like a bridal shower for you. Like, why does she try to isolate her friends away from her? Because she knew she was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
She knew that her friends would see and call her out on it. But she didn't. That's the thing. She didn't want to hear the truth.
Yeah.
She was hoping that it would turn around and become better, and it never did. It got worse and worse.
What's up, Osha? Teacher Osha. I haven't seen all the videos, but she's seen some. Yeah, the commentaries are
I
crazy.
think the commentary alone will kind of really get you like, because it's a very long commitment. But it really
it took me 2 days, 2 or 3 days, because
that's long, babe.
It takes me an hour to drive to work, so I just let it play as I'm driving. It's like listening to a podcast. Yeah, Mahalia, singleness is a gift, a time of preparation, and that's one of the things that we talked about last week. And then after finished talking about this, we discovered this entire mess from Reesa and Allegiant.
What do you think about what her aunt said when she came to her aunt and she expressed how she was feeling, or what was going on, because she found some texts about, him and another girl, infidelity or whatever. And her aunt said, I can't tell you what to do. You marry him. Some people are giving her backlash because her aunt didn't really say, leave that man. What do you think? Do you think her aunt, this is a question to you guys as well, do you think her aunt should have told her to leave? Or do you think her aunt did the responsible thing and said, listen, I can't tell you what to do. That's your husband. He's not your boyfriend. You married him.
I'm wondering whether or not she said that because there's a history of probably family member when your family member tell you something over and over again, try to prevent you from going in a particular direction, but you still go ahead and do it anyway for whatever reason. So you married him, you made that choice. I don't think that's her also saying don't leave just because she said that you married him. I'm not going to tell you what to do, because she knew what she wanted. She was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering whether or not she was trying to find justification to stay, some kind of green light to stay in that situation.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, she could have said,
I mean, she's a grown woman.
Right.
She's in her own relationship. So I honestly, I feel like I do kind of side with the aunt. Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to make your decision for you because you know exactly what you need to do. You married him.
You married him.
Like you made that choice. You made that choice to get with him, even though you knew something was wrong. Now, what are you going to do? Don't come to me for me to tell you what to do when you know what you really need to do.
Yeah.
So that's the way I took it. I didn't see it as her saying, you married him, saying it. No, I don't think, because, and even when she said she was happy that she found out that he was being unfaithful, because she's like, oh, that's my green light. She was like, divorce. For her to be able to actually divorce, because she was because she wanted to kind of commit and like keep her vows and stuff. But after all this, you still want to keep your vows. I don't know.
But even that, even the cheating thing is a big deal. I don't know if I think it was more. It started off more messaging than actual action, right? Isn't that what they were saying in the video? It was more messaging, inappropriate exchanges,
and then he saw prostitutes and stuff.
I don't know. Yeah, and so. But y'all, even leading up to that, everything else that happened from fake. Yo, guys, there will be time he would lie so much about his family members. She said he would be on the phone with a
No,
pretend
this
brother. A pretend brother, y'all.
for 30
Yeah,
minutes.
what's up, Mike? Yeah, man. All is good, bro. Yeah, yeah, Ann is right here. Oh, and Mike, say what's up.
Hey, Mike.
And there's nobody on the phone, guys.
You really have to be sick in the head.
There's nobody on the phone. And as a chronicle of the story go along, and eventually Reesa started to talk to actual family members about him, and those family members start saying,
I haven't spoken
cousin
to him in
who?
years.
No, not just that I haven't spoken to him in years. Cousin who? He ain't got no brother named this. He ain't got no uncle.
Lord,
They say
Lord,
our
Lord.
uncle died during COVID. Our uncle died since 2008. Yo, it was bad. But sis just stayed. Now she's doing investigation. I honestly don't think her investigation was to get out. I think her investigation was trying to find some false truth to stay.
Because she said, she was like, okay, I was trying to find out if he was going to actually tell the truth this time. No. There's no this time, sis. She said, okay. I was like, okay, maybe this time. Okay, maybe this time.
Classic.
It's almost like somebody hitting you, like smacking you. All right, maybe this time he won't hit me. Then he smacks you. He smacks you again. All right, maybe this time. Like, no, there is no this time.
It was a classic case of narcissism, but she was also a classic case of is gullibility a word?
Yeah.
She was a classic case of gullibility and desperation. So when you have a pathological liar, and someone who is desperate for companionship,
it's a perfect match.
Bad combination.
But it's a perfect match for the pathological liar. Like, he wants you to be at a place where you're so desperate that you will do anything to please him.
He's psychotic, y'all. He is psychotic. And Reesa even said that she feels like he got off, quote unquote, got off. Use your imagination. Whenever he said something great he was about to do for her. I got you I'm about to get you the house. I'm about to get you the car.
When he saw her
see
excitement.
a reaction, and that's something he got off, even though he wasn't doing none of that. He did not have the mean to do any of it.
Even for her wanting to go to London, and like him saying he had plans to take her. Homeboy never been out of Alabama.
Now,
what is it? Georgia, wherever they were, Atlanta, whatever.
Yeah. That's a really good question Malia asked, because there was a time also, which is kind of weird, where he was taking care of her bills. In the video.
And she did say, to know that somebody else could take care of me financially was such a relief. So yes, she was looking for someone to take care of her financially, and she got that. And that's another thing that made her want to stay.
Yeah.
He bought, like, where did he get the money from?
I don't know.
Like, because there are so many unanswered questions, because he said he was a vice president of a company, but he was just a forklift driver. Yeah. So like, he's like, where did he get the money from?
And then after she kicked them out of the house, we kind of like all over the place with the stories, because it's a lot. He ended up staying in his car, sleeping in his car.
So where was the liquid money that you had?
He had offshore accounts. He had accounts with. He claimed he played football. I've never heard of that type of football that he played before. It's not NFL. Arena football. I don't know what arena football is and how much money you could make from that, because it's not the NFL. So he said he had a lot of money saved up from there.
So where she hears ka-ching, 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 ka-ching.
Malia said from his twice dead cousin.
That's probably where he got it from.
Yeah.
So she sees ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. He got money. He's doing things for me. He likes me. But I'm going to keep him. Okay, he's not treating me like, he's not telling me the truth, but I have somebody in my bed at night. No, sis, like, that is not how any of this is supposed to go. Any of it.
That's not it, bro.
Any of it. If you know how sometimes, when they say, just because I do it doesn't make me that. Like, let's say I lie from time to time. That doesn't make me a liar, right? But Legion was a liar. He didn't just lie from time to time. He didn't just tell a what. He was a liar. His life was a
A
lie.
lie.
So when she says, "Who the f did I marry?" Like she's like, I don't know this man. I don't know this man. Even down to when they went to counseling with the pastor and his wife. The pastor's wife said, "I don't see you guys lasting after January."
That's nothing. This dude told Reesa that his stepdaughter died of COVID.
Oh Jesus.
When Reesa got in touch with the mother, his ex-wife, she didn't have the heart. She didn't have the heart to tell this woman that this man said that her daughter died. That girl was very much alive and fine.
So here's my question, babe. How much is enough?
I don't know.
Like when does it become enough? You know what I'm saying? No, because I really wanted to get practical. Because at this point of them, even before they got divorced, he must have lied to her over 35 times.
Way more than that.
When is it enough? If you're in a relationship, no, like you guys can chime in as well. When do you feel like, let's say you're in a relationship with someone, when is the cutoff point? Like if you lie to me 3 times, we're done.
White lies versus heavy lies. Compulsivity in the lies.
But would you be
standing
able
your
to?
ground
But would you
in
be
the
able to
lies.
stay with me if I
Heck
was a
no.
liar?
Heck no.
Why not?
I can't trust you.
You can't trust me. So like it breaks this trust. So like for her to have stayed as long as she did, it really shows that she was searching for something that she felt that he could only provide.
Yeah, she definitely has some issues, Mahalia. Staying in something like this, that toxic, there is
And for
some
that
issues.
long, there had to be many issues.
And it's still kind of unclear to me what made her finally want to seek the divorce and leave, to be honest with you, because she put up with so much. She accepted so much. She stayed for so much for her to eventually say, okay, I'm out, I'm leaving. It was kind of crazy. It was kind of like crazy. Till now, though. But guess what? My understanding is Legion is finally coming out. That's how we were able to get a picture of him on the flyer, because even though Reesa did it confidentially, she spoke confidentially. That's why she even called him Legion. He's actually contemplating taking legal action against her for
He better
the
stop
TikToks.
it, because he needs some money. He needs money, so he's gonna try to get some money
I think
now.
it's trying to be some kind of defamation of character suit or something he's pursuing, trying to explore all his legal options.
His whole character
how
was
to
a
do it.
defamation. Like, what is he saying? Like,
So
he had no character.
That's crazy, y'all.
So now there's this final clip that Reesa, and I want to play the final clip that she just go all the way to the end of the clip. There's this final clip that Reesa.
What's the timestamp? Do you know?
I don't know. There's this final clip that Reesa does. It's part 50. You're gonna see part 50. After this, that really kind of pulls everything or ties everything together. And it's where she kind of just shares, like, I needed to do this. First of all, I needed to do this for me. Yeah. But I also needed to do this for any other woman. You know how they say hindsight is always 20/20, right? Now she can see, oh, I should have did this. I should have did that, right? In the moment she didn't. But now that she's recounting her story, she's like, once she and many times she's like, I'm kicking myself now because I should have known. I should have. So I say, let her should-haves be your
could not
will, right? Like won't, right? So that you can learn from this. Learn from this. Who said that again? Was that Lean on Me? I don't know. That you learn from this, that you learn from her stories. And it may not be to the magnitude that she went in, but if you sense an inkling of something, say something. You could be in a marriage. I didn't say get out. Because like you could be in a marriage, right? Where something is bothering you. You feel something is happening and you just keep quiet because you don't want to cause any issues or no. Say something. If I have an issue with Irvin's, I'm going to say something. I'm not going to keep my mouth shut to just
But she
create
was,
peace
but
or
she
to
wasn't.
maintain
She
peace.
wasn't though.
Because how
It just had a good lies for everything that she asked, and then she accepted it for whatever reason. So it's not like she wasn't being vocal. Like for the about the house, what's going on with this house? About the car, what's going on with the car? About the job, what's going on with this job? What's going on with this? What's going on with that?
okay, so after you say something and you find that there's something wrong,
But he just always had a
do
good
now you got to
lies.
do something, right?
He had a good lies for every single thing that she brought up. So
Play this final clip that really culminates this entire thing.
That's my hope. So when I started out making this series, and I made the decision to tell my story, my motive was I just want to help one person. If there is a woman out there who's like, God, I want to be married, and I met this guy and something don't seem right, but maybe it's not that bad. My advice is, honey, just go ahead and do your research, because I can honestly tell you, being single sucks. Okay. In my opinion, sometimes it sucks, but being married to the wrong person is a type of hell no one should have to go through. You should not have to be married to someone that does not like you.
Okay.
love it.
Yeah. She was honest. Being single can suck. Especially when, Valentine's Day is around and you see all these couples and you're another bridesmaid, right? But I'd rather you be single than to get into something that will destroy your life forever. She will never forget what she went through with this man. Even though the divorce is now final, she this is a memory of hers that will
I think
be,
she's in therapy right now. She had mentioned trying to work some of the stuff through her therapist.
and prayerfully she doesn't bring any of that trauma into her next relationship, right? So there's certain things that you can learn from other people so that you don't end up down that same path. And I thank God for her sharing it, because I saw it as a teaching tool. People saw it as comedy. Some people saw it as entertainment. I honestly saw it as a teaching tool for many women out there like her. And if you are a legion, you need to go. You need to stay as far away from society as possible.
I'm still laughing.
You are a menace to society.
I'm still laughing at the fact that she nicknamed him Legion. That was hilarious.
How fitting, right?
Very fitting. Yeah. So
I had to get it off my chest, y'all. Like, we had another thing planned for tonight, but I said we got to get to talking about Reesa and Legion, because there are too many women out here that I know, that I've witnessed, that I've heard, who have said the same things. It's my turn. When is it going to be my turn? When is it going to be my turn? And I will say, Ecclesiastes 3. I'm going to read it. I was just reading it today, actually, so it's right in my Bible, right where I need it to be. I'm going to close with this, all right? Ecclesiastes 3 says, "For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace." Which means your time is coming. Your
Don't
season
settle.
is coming. Don't settle because you're in a season that you're not liking.
It's my turn.
Like my favorite season, right? I have a favorite and I have a least favorite. I can't control when the seasons come. They're going to come when they come, right? And at the same time, in the seasons that I don't like some certain things about, there's some beauties about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's some negative things that happen in some seasons, but what's the beauty in it? How about instead of focusing on the negative aspects, you focus on the beauty,
Beauty.
right? Like, yeah, I can't stand that during the fall, it's kind of dreary and the weather's like, gloomy, but look how beautiful the leaves are. Right, the changing colors. Look how beautiful it is when the kids are having so much fun jumping in those piles. Like, what is the beauty that you can pull out in each season?
You can find. Yep.
So in your single season, find the beauty and focus on that.
We digress, y'all. We digress. Yeah. My heart hurts for this woman. But live and learn. Live and learn. All right, guys, that's all we had for you all tonight. Do us a favor, those of you guys who are on YouTube right now, if you have not yet done so, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And even if you are subscribed, but you haven't turned on your notification bell, make sure you do that also. And you can always, this replay will be on, so you can always share the link with somebody else, and they could take it from the top and watch it. Okay. This past Saturday, we did something that was pretty special. Our author over here. Her book is officially out. So if you want a copy of it, you can go ahead and order your copy right now on ngarcon.com. ngarcon.com will get that shipped out to you signed. So we ask for your support in that sense. And also be sure, again, to follow us on all of our social media pages. We'll put up the QR code once again for you guys to follow us and support us and invite other people to do the same, y'all, because our reach is only going to go as far as where we can go. But with your support and you just clicking that share button, you'll get a lot more people to be blessed by what it is that we do. All right. So we thank you guys for being here tonight.
Thank y'all for rocking with us tonight.
Yes, and be on the lookout for some special announcement coming up for the second quarter. Until then, y'all, deuces, peace out. Have a
Deuces.
great night.
Bye.
Thank you.